Hi everyone, I'm just doing some sound checks, so if you'll just bear with me for a moment, we will do some sound checks. We're actually going to start in just a few minutes, so if anyone needs to go grab a cup of tea or a coffee, you've got some time while I just check out all of our sounds. All right. All right, I'll do some sound tests and say hello to people at the same time. Hi, we've got Terry in from the Netherlands. Thank you so much, Terry. I know it is the middle of the night for you there, so thanks so much for joining in. Now, we've got Kaylin, and I'm really hoping I remembered to say that correctly after last week when you very kindly gave me a pronunciation, so I hope I have that correct. I'm so glad you made it in time. And we've got Claudia coming in from Switzerland. Thank you so much for coming in. I think you're one of our first from Switzerland. And we've also got Jim coming in. He says hello. So thank you everyone so much for coming in. Oh, Jim's coming in from New York. All right, everyone's saying my volume is very low. Let me check that out. Kaylee-Ann, all right, I'll work on that. Sound, okay. Okay. All right, I'm just checking to see if this is getting better. I should have one more light yet. Miami, thank you so much for coming in. All right, I'm still missing one light on my microphone. I'm just going to swap out. We okay?
We're okay. It's a little quiet. It's okay.
I'm missing one of my lights on my microphone, so I'm going to see if I can reboot.
I think it's okay. We can hear you.
Okay. Sorry if you just got a bit of crackling. I'm just swapping over my microphone a little bit to see if we can get a better sound for you all. I hope everyone's having a good day. Right. Okay, how is this one? Is this one working for us better today? It's such an awkward pose to put on that microphone. All right, let's hope that one's working. I'm getting more brackets on my sound bar, so I'm going to go with it going okay. Hi to Vicky from Scotland. All right. I think we are good for sound. I'm just going to duck out for one moment for a double sound check with the team. I will be back in one moment. You good? Good. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Hatch live stream. I hope you're all really had a great day and are really enjoying StitchFest. There's been so much going on here and I've got some great things to tell you about, so we're going to jump into that, but I'm also going to say hello to the chat who have all very kindly turned up early. So we've got a couple of extra people to come up. Hi to Joanne. She's saying she's got a little bit of problem with the volumes. Hopefully now I've swapped my microphone, it's working. If not, let me know and I'll see what else I can do. But if anyone's having problems or you're having to watch on super high volume, let me know. We'll try and work on it. As I said, we are still in the middle of StitchFest. It has been such much fun joining in and doing lots of different things for StitchFest. One of the ones you're not going to want to miss out on is coming live tonight on YouTube. And it's actually going to be on the Wilcom YouTube channel. And it's this really beautiful interview between Alice Afra and Gil Cox. And Gil is a mature age student at Falmouth University, and she's taking Alice through all of her inspirations and the way she does her work. And honestly, I watched it the whole time through and I was just like, I just want to go create. I just want to go see how far I can push things. It was just super inspiring. So if you've got the time tonight, definitely go and check that out because it is super inspiring. As I said, it's going to be there on YouTube, so you can dip in and watch it at any time. But it's really fantastic, and it's one of the great things. All right, the chat's giving me some answers, so I'm going to have a look. All right, so some people are saying they're making do with some volume. Thanks so much for that. I'm just going to see if I can open up my sound and see what else I can do for you. Always thanks. All right, who else have we got coming in as I'm working on my side? Hi to Bonnie, you're coming in from New Hampshire. I bet you have beautiful leaves at the moment. I love autumn leaves, so I hope you're enjoying those. And we've got Sheila coming in from Jacksonville in Florida. I hope you're having a great day too. And we've got E. Matthews, and they're saying they're also having a little bit of sounds. All right, give me one sec, guys. Come on.
So she can hear something.
All right. I think so. Hi everyone. Now let's just check our sound again and see if it is. So if you just got the opening, that was just me trying to check out where everything is. There was lots of unplugging and serious face looking. So let me know how you're going. All right, Terry's saying she can hear me. Yes, all right, I've got a big thumbs up from the team. Thank you so much for helping that out. We do try very hard to try and get it all happening as well. All right, we've got tons of people joining in the chat, so I'm gonna say some hellos before we kick off. I've got Carla coming in. Hi, Carla, hope you're having a great day. Cheryl, thank you so much. Hopefully you now have both sound and picture, fingers crossed. Let us know if you don't, though you may not hear that if that is true. We've got Janice coming in from Illinois, and we've got KS coming in from Cape Coral in Florida. Terry saying she can hear me, which is fantastic. We've got Bern coming in from the UK. We've got S. St. James back in again, and Bonnie's in, and Judy. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. Thank you all so much for coming in. All right, everyone says the sound is back. All right, thank you all so much for helping me troubleshoot that. Right, I'm going to rewind and start again. So we have so much great stuff coming at you for StitchFest. It is a massive celebration of all things embroidery, and it is between both the Hatch channels and the Wilcom channels. So the team has dropped the link there into the chat for you. So you might have to scroll back again because we've got everyone, lovely people coming in. So you might want to need to scroll and check that out. But there is tons of things happening which are super inspiring and lots of exciting things that you can download or try out, do lots of stuff. So definitely check that out. The other thing is, if you are a new user of Hatch or looking to use Hatch, there are some massive discounts on at the moment. So be sure to take advantage of those. Pop across to the StitchFest website there, and with the links you can go through and you can choose all of the different parts of what type of digitizer you want to be and all of the different packs. So definitely check that out. If anyone has been a Hatch user for a long time, thank you so much. We enjoy that so much when we hear that people have been long-time users of Hatch. But there's also some discounts for you. So there's extra font packs on sale. There's a whole bunch of different things. So if you're looking to expand your information of all things embroidery, definitely go and check that out. All right, we've got Deb in from Western Sydney. Hi, how are you going today? Bernstein, it's still a little bit quiet for them. I hope that's okay for everyone else. Let me know if I need to move it up a little bit as well. And we've got Roylia coming in from Oklahoma. So thank you all for coming in. Okay, so besides all of the wonderful things we have going this month for StitchFest, one of the things that is wonderful about Hatch is we always have access to the Academy. So the Hatch Academy comes bundled in with Hatch. You will get access to it straight away. If you have the digitizer level, you can get through into everything. If you're just trying out the free 30-day trial to decide whether it's for you, be sure to go check out the Academy. There are tons of classes there that will teach you how to get started, all about different kinds of machine embroidery tips and hints. If you need a little bit more information about navigation of that, you can always slide back after this live is finished and re-watch last week's live, because that was all about how you navigate the Academy. So if you're still a little unsure, slide on back to that one after this and have a look. But for the moment, stick around because we are going to talk all about a very exciting new class we have, which is all about creating 3D in the hoop luxury key fobs. So these have been very big in fashion circles for a while, and we love seeing them about, and they're just, there's some people I keep seeing in the city here and their bags are like laden with charms, and they're so cute and so personalizable. It's a really fantastic way to do that. So we created a whole course for that. So that is a really exciting thing. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to swap you in to watch the overview of that class. Hopefully while that overview is on, I can also work on my sound because the overview you'll actually be hearing Lindy talk. All right, let's take a look at the overview, and hopefully when we're back, we'll have all our sound issues sorted out.
Looking for a fun, fast, and professional looking project? Learn to create these stunning, luxurious 3D in the hoop key fobs, perfect for personalized gifts, product sales, or just a stylish project for yourself. In this Hatch Academy course, you'll learn how to combine vinyl or leather with 3D foam and simple designs to create dimensional, high-end key fobs completely in the hoop. The course is designed for Hatch Digitizer users who are already familiar with basic tools. We'll show you how to plan your key fob, digitize a reusable snap tab, choose a suitable design or letter, and build your fob using a fast, repeatable method. You'll learn to use tools like Create Offsets and Outlines, the Knife tool, Reshape, and lettering, and more, and you'll work step by step to digitize and stitch your finished project. As a bonus, we'll show you how to test TrueType fonts and tweak existing designs for reuse. Once you understand the process, you'll be able to create dozens of fobs in just minutes, each one personal, professional, and perfectly giftable. This course is included with your Hatch Digitizer 3 license exclusively in Hatch Academy.
All right. How exciting was that? It was such a great overview of the actual course. And I've just worked on my sound a little bit more. So all of my levels are telling me that I'm nice and high. So hopefully that is the same for you as well. So fingers crossed there. As Lindy just explained in the course overview there, this course is going to take you through how to actually create the key fobs. And we have a whole bunch of different ones that we have done in different things. So we've got some lovely holographic foil. We have some printed vinyl. They're super fun to actually make and they take no time at all. I actually went home after the course had been released and I followed the course exactly as it was stitched out, well, sorry, as it was all like laid out in the course, followed it exact. And honestly, within no time at all, I followed the little formula that was there and it all just went through and I had a ton and they're so fun to stitch out. So one of the things that we are doing with this course is for November, you had a really fun extra design get added into the course. So in November, you got access to this fun pumpkin key fob. And now, because StitchFest, we're doing lots of music themes, you actually got 2 new ones that dropped in yesterday. So the first one is this fun guitar. Always great for any musician in your actual family. And then we've also created this extra one, which you can loop around the handle of your bags as well. So it's actually created as a long piece and goes in. So at the moment, both of those designs are exclusive to the Academy. And you will actually be able to find them when you've done the course. You will find them in the bonus editions right down the bottom there. So make your way through the course, have lots of fun in actually doing it out. And then you too can also get access to our fun musical keynotes, as well as our guitar key fob as well. The guitar's not showing up so well in the lights, but the music notes show up really well. I'll just unlink them. So you can see we actually just created them as one long file, and then we have used a scalpel to open it up, and it slides on through. So super easy and really customizable to a whole bunch of different things. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of how we stitched it out and some of the other things that we have done for it. But before I do that, I just wanted to always mention that you can get the Academy as an app. So you can get this on either the Google Play Store or on the Apple Store. And what you'll find on all of those is that you can download it and you have access to your Academy. When you are downloading your app, be sure to sign in using the same email address that you signed in and created your Hatch account with, because then it links them all together, which is really, really fun because it means that you can be reading on the bus on the way home from work or on the train. And then when you get home from work and you log into your Hatch, it will actually allow you to pick back up the same course that you were there. So you're not having to reread things all the time. So that's a great one to do. So don't forget to go get your apps as well. All right, let's take a look at our stitch out. So to create the luxury key fobs, we are actually using 3D puff foam. We see foam getting used a lot for different types of lettering. At the moment, there's super popular ways of putting it onto sweatshirts, and we see it a lot on caps as well. So it's the exact same type of foam that you can go through on that. Kaylene's actually asking if it's available to use on the Kindle. I don't know, only because I personally don't understand about how apps work on a Kindle. So I am not sure there. I will see if I can have an answer for you on that one. So on our stitch out here, we are now stitching out on top of some oilcloth fabric. I'm sure that is called different things in different countries. So I'm going to explain about that fabric in a moment. So we've done our foam and now we are stitching out around on top of our foam. So our fabric here is actually taped into position at the top of our frame, but you will see that there is a little bit of movement there as well as it goes around, but you can also tape it in a little bit more. Once it is stitched in, now we are going for our second stitch around. Before we go through on our second stitch around, we've also added in some fabric on the back as well. All of these steps are laid out for you with the Inside the Hatch Academy. So if the stitch out is you're like, oh, I need a few more steps, it's all in the Academy and it's really, really well laid out So you can just follow it along step by step, and then you can take that information and create any design that you actually want to as well. So here we're using an 8x13 sized hoop, so a mid-sized hoop, and we're using it on the single needle rubber machines. We've tried this out on our single needles, on our multi-needles, on a whole bunch of different machines, and I've got some extra tips for you coming up on those as well. Kayleen saying they also don't understand how apps work on a Kindle. I'm glad it's not just me then. It's always a tricky thing to work with. Yes, you can also access the Academy from any browser, and you can also get access to it. So if you're already logged into Hatch, you can go up into the help, and you can actually select the Hatch Academy in there from the help desk as well. So here on our stitch out, we're actually stitching out some little circles, and those little circles are actually showing us where we can put our hole punch marks to connect our snap key fobs, for our snaps for our key fobs. So what you'll find with any of them, I'll just see if I can open one. Yes. All right, so we have our key fob, it's all stitched out. And here on our bright yellow ones, these are actually our snaps. So this type of snap is sometimes known as a cam snap. You do need a tool to actually join them together. So sometimes you will buy them and it's just a packet, but you often need like some kind of tool to drop them together. I really like using the plier style ones because they're a lot easier on your hands, and you can squish them through the vinyl very well. You can also get desktop press ones as well. I am very jealous of anyone who has one of those desktop presses. They look like tons of fun, but it's not difficult to do, and they are readily available. I did a quick search. You can get them off a ton of different websites, including places like Amazon. You can find them easily. We have a whole bunch of different colored ones, which just make it extra fun, but you could get away with just single colors as well. And then obviously we have added our little keychain to it as well. So the holes, the circles that stitch out onto the stitch out there is just to help with placement so that it all lines up nicely. We tried some where we didn't put the circles in. It was so much harder to actually add the snaps in the correct position, which sounds crazy because it's such a small little space, but definitely much trickier. All right, let's talk fabrics then. So we've got some holographic vinyl here. Some cork. This is actually a gold foiled cork as well. You might be able to see the glitter in there coming along. We have some leather. We actually cut up a leather handbag we found at the thrift store, so you can use leather as well. And this, we know it here in Australia as Mexican oilcloth, often referred to as oilcloth, but different to the oilcloth that you'll get in the UK. This one is a very plastic type thing, quite often used for cosmetics cases and children's lunch bags. If you can't find any vinyl, pencil cases are fantastic and they're super cheap. You'll find them at all the dollar stores. And this one is actually a bag from a big brand shopping one here in Australia. So it was actually an Aldi bag. All of those things work for you. What we're looking for is a fabric that has a little bit of stiffness to it, but not too stiff. But what the key thing is something that will not fray, because when we're going to have a raw cut edge, so we don't want any type of fraying to happen on that. So all of these have different worked. This is our holographic vinyl. This one was a pretty colored pencil case that we chopped up. It actually stitched out really, really fantastic. And this is one from the oilcloth. Now, just again to mention this, oilcloth in the UK is an outdoor and wet weather thing that we would use for bags and overcoats and different kinds of hiking wear. This type of oilcloth is definitely a plastic coating, and we would use it for like I said, pencil cases, cosmetic bags. You quite often find it in the hardware stores, and it's the covering for like outdoor picnic tables, things like that. So you can have a little bit of a look around for that one. The reason I wanted to particularly mention it is it often comes in really beautiful colors and prints. So if you were looking for something that was colored and printed, that one is a fantastic one. Yes, other people are now saying they had Aldi. I kind of got halfway through that sentence and was like, do other people have Aldi? Even though I knew the answer was yes. But the plastic shopping bags, it's the heavy duty reusable plastic shopping bags. They're actually quite good to stitch out for most of the ones we were testing them on. So that works too. But like I said, pencil cases worked great as well. Vinyl isn't super easy to get here in Australia if you just go to one of the regular big box fabric stores. So I wanted to give you some alternatives so you had extra places to go. All right, so that was all of the different places you can look for different types of fabrics, but I also wanted to show you some of the things that I created myself on my home machine. So what I wanted to mention is my machine at home is a very small embroidery machine. It's a combination machine, so it means it can convert from being a regular sewing machine across to an embroidery machine. Whenever I stitched anything out on any of the machines we have here in the studios, no problems at all, everything stitched super easy. At home on my smaller machine, when my presser foot lifts, it has less clearance. With the less clearance, I found that my embroideries were getting stuck because my presser foot was actually catching onto my foam as I stitched out my foam. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I made and then talk you through some of the problems that I experienced on my very tiny machine, just in case you come across these two. All right, just before I go to that, I've just had a quick look in the chat and a lot of people are saying they love the idea of the recycling, and thanks for all the fabric suggestions. So I'm so glad that includes. Amy's just asked, yes, the picnic tablecloths that have the fleece on the back, they totally work. We did test those. They've got to be the slightly thicker ones. There are some very, very lightweight ones around that you might get at certain big stores here in Australia in particular that I definitely have tested on. The really, really lightweight ones, they ended up with way too many needle penetration marks and they felt really flimsy. So don't use the super lightweight ones. You want to kind of go for the mid-weight ones. So that would be my only caveat on using the tablecloths, but it's definitely worth the experiment for sure. All right, let's check out what I made with my tiny machine. So I've been making mine as my Christmas presents. So hi to any family watching this. I've just ruined the surprise. I haven't even finished trimming them all up, but I modified the pattern a little bit in order to fit into my 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter hoop, or 4 by 4 if you're working in inches. So as you'll see, instead of having the snap taps, I have actually used a little tiny loop of the same vinyl as the other things as well. So this is me just pointing out that I've got a little extra one. All I did was add that as an extra piece into my stitch out. And you can see here on my photograph of my ones, I added a tack down stitch. So as I put down my first layer of vinyl that covered my foam, I added a tack down stitch, stitched around my vinyl. Then as I added my vinyl to the underside of my hoop to do the back of it so that you have a lovely pretty back with no stitching, or from the internals, you've just got your outside line, I added a second tack down stitch. Now, I experimented with this all week and then I came back and reran them on some of the machines here. All of the machines here, which are embroidery specific machines, I had no problems on. Worked a treat, so easy. It was only on my combination machine. So just in case you have a combination machine. So with the combination machines, it's the one where you've got to like click out one part of your machine, click in the next part. I'm sure for most of you, there are no problems, but just in case you are, things that I did that were a little different. I had to use a heavyweight tearaway interfacing. On the machines here, I could use a midweight, but I had to go to heavyweight on my 10 by 10 hoop at home. Because I don't have that foot clearance, as my presser foot was trying to move, it was just bunching up my whole thing and making a whole mess. Heavyweight tearaway fixed that problem. Then for the vinyl, again, as my presser foot started to move, it would start to bunch things again. No matter how much tape I used, what kind of tape, I didn't want to use the spray glue because I don't always have great success with using that one on my home machine. So I was like, okay, how do I fix this? So I added a tack down stitch and I just added it on one side, folded over the vinyl, let it stitch in, Then as I added the vinyl on the back, I added in another tack down stitch. So super little tiny things, which in the scheme of things may not have affected anyone else, but I just wanted to point it out. I'm also going to add some extra notes into the Academy class, just in case, like me, you were working on a tiny hoop. As I said, though, every time I stitched it out here, whether it was on, we've got a 10 needle, a 6 needle, some single needles, I put it on some of our industrial machines, all no problems whatsoever. It worked out really great. If you want really great puffy looking key fobs though, try and get a really lovely dense foam. The denser the foam you can get for your 3D puff foam, so definitely try and buy one that's specific for embroidery, not just one from the craft store, because it makes a big difference and it makes them look way more dimensional for your actual stitch outs. So definitely try and do that. Experiment with different fabrics. Like I said, you can upcycle and do different things with them. So you can go hit the thrift stores, find out what else you can use. But they're really fantastic. As I said, I made mine for gifts. We already know someone had dropped a message, I think it was in our Facebook user group, to say that they were going to create them for their local markets for Christmas. So I think you could make them great as presents, but they'd also be a really great selling point for you as well. So definitely dive into that class and check it out and have a lot of fun doing it as well. All right, so I'm going to go back to the chat and see what we've got in there. So Bern's saying that they also have a 4x4 machine, so they're glad it will fit. Yes, so for your 4x4, what I did is you can, a couple of different ways you can do this. I'm just going to try and open a snap as I talk. So you can make the actual part here smaller to include the size of your actual tab fob. There's all the ways of how to digitize your actual tab is all in the course there for you. So one of the ones you can do is you can reduce this here, and then you can make this a bit smaller so it all fits in, or you can modify it like I did, where I had a single layer of vinyl created into a loop. One of the reasons I wanted to do a single layer of vinyl created into the loop is a lot of mine are destined to be travel tags. So you'll see that I had a metallic hoop on the top of mine. That metallic one is actually, it's a non-breakable one that you can attach to any luggage tags. So I wanted to make it as secure as possible to get through to the luggage because my brother was like, he bought the kids all new luggage and then was like, everyone has the same luggage and I can't see whose is whose when we're at the airport. So I just really wanted like a really nice big visual for them to be able to say, oh, that's my bag. So do keep the end use there in mind. All of these ones that I've been showing you here, though, have been fantastic, though, for handbags and keychains. We've been attaching them to everything here in the office. Oh, that would be a fantastic idea. So S. St. James is saying it would be fun to make a candy cane with a stocking. Please do that and show us a photo. That would be super cute. There'd be a lot of great different ones that you could try. Don't forget, you're going to have the guitar, the music notes, and the pumpkin key fob are all there in the Academy in the bonus files for you to be able to stitch out for straight away. So those are there too. And one of the things we've been working on is you're going to get a new design every month. So each month we're actually going to be adding to these for the next year so that you'll definitely be getting all these new ones in. I say the next year only because that's as far as I have planned so far, but who knows what will happen in the future. Definitely go in and check out the course. It is really, really fun to do. All right, some extra things before we go. Don't forget we have our user guide. If you are finding that you are a brand new user of Hatch, maybe this is you bought it this week as part of StitchFest and took advantage of the sale, you can actually grab the user guide. So the user guide is printed on demand and you can buy it from your local Amazon. Be sure to buy it from your local Amazon so that the shipping is not exorbitant. If you buy it from one of the other Amazons, you might find that the shipping gets scary high. So be sure to be using your local Amazon. You can order this for you as well. In the chat last week, some people were saying they really loved it. They've been reading through, adding post-it notes and adding different notes and things. Kayleigh saying that they love that book. It is really fantastic. You also do get the user guide available as a PDF inside of your software. And all of the information is actually included inside the software as well. But some people love a physical book, so that's also really great. All right, and we've got some people saying that they are loving the guitar and music notes because they work well with the folks that they embroider for. I do have to admit, I have zero knowledge of all things musical. I am not musical in any way. I definitely spent all of my time of my youth doing embroidery and sewing and other crafty things and didn't do anything music. So when I actually designed these, I took them to Richard, who you might have been seeing in our coming up weekly little video pieces that we have been doing. He is a musician, and I'm like, do these make sense? Because I had to get someone to double check that because I didn't know as well. So that's always really funny. That was a great thing to do. All right, yes, people are saying how much they love the user guide. So do take advantage of it if you love a good book and be able to take your notes with that as well. And the team is dropping the links for the user guide into the chat there for you as well. As always, if you have any questions, either not in the live, about Hatch in general, about embroidery, you can always jump into our Hatch user group on Facebook. It's super busy, lots of people asking lots of different questions. We do ask that everyone, when you're going in, that you are there to ask questions. If you are there to sell a product, you may not get your approval post go through. So we do try and keep it free from spam so that everyone can enjoy and just create. We just want to see what people are doing in terms of what they're creating with Hatch and how they're using it, and not as a sales tool for people. So if you are looking for that, that's kind of things for this. Oh my gosh, everyone's coming through with the greatest ideas. Now we're talking about doing a baby bottle and baby booties. That would be really cute. And you could do it so that if you did it as one of the long ones, it could be like the bottle on this side and then the booties on the other side. That would be really, really fun. If you wanted to do one of these longer ones on a smaller hoop, I actually figured out how to do this. So what you could actually do with it is you could stitch one side, so lay it up and do it as well. Leave your long tab and then re-hoop and flip around and do it. So it is possible. We did test it, but I missed the routings and things. Someone's just saying they're having issues with the user guide, saying that the links don't link through to them. All right, we'll see if we can drop some new ones into it. People are now saying that they could do ones which are Christmas trees with embroidered little lights and bulbs. That would be really cute, and you could totally use like glow-in-the-dark thread. So when you went through the house in the middle of the night and you could see your Christmas tree, it would be nice and glowing. That would be really cute. All right, there looks like there's lots of different ones coming through of what you could make with your key fobs. And it's one of those things that I think once you start thinking about it, there's so many different ways that you can use it. So far, I've done lots of lettering with things and started to do things like now I'm starting to like, what else can I do? What are the shapes I can make? So there's so much you can do once you do it. And it's a really fun course. The stitch outs don't take long. I think the longest one for me on my small machine, which only runs at a lower speed rate, was less than 15 minutes. Here on the machines, it's well under 10 minutes. So they're fast. You can move them out and go around and around with them. So they, for a production, if you're going into like a market season, speedy, really good for that as well. All right, now people are suggesting you could do a Santa's head. You could totally do a Santa's head as well. That would be fantastic. Oh, that's really sweet, Brenda. Brenda's saying that she watches on YouTube so that she can actually see all of the different things because she's not always here. So that's always fantastic. You can always watch on the extra pieces on YouTube as well. All right, I'm going to leave up. What else does the chat have extra questions for me as well if we've got things? Okay, so people are saying they're having a little bit of problems finding the YouTube links for a few hours after the live broadcast. Unfortunately, I can't speed that one up. So what happens after we finish our live, YouTube then processes the video and then gets it ready for upload. Sometimes that's really short and takes like under 3 hours. Sometimes it takes a long time. One of the reasons it takes a longer time is we also choose to make sure that all of the questions actually show up in the chat as well. But I think it depends how busy YouTube is. Unfortunately, I have no speed over that. Some people also find it hard to find the Facebook Live after it's been live, or sometimes even before it's gone live. They keep moving it around for us. At the moment, if you go to the Hatch page, so not in the user group, but on the Hatch page, and you go to events and then do the drop down to live, you'll find it in there, which is a long way around. But that happens sometimes if I'm on my desktop. It also shows up in the sidebar underneath events in there as well. So it's one of those two places, but unfortunately I can't kind of find those ones. Oh, fantastic. So Bern, I keep tripping on their name. Bern, I'm guessing it's Bern Toke. Sorry if I've pronounced your name incorrectly. They're saying it's the first time that they've managed to watch the live, as it's quite often a long time of day for them. I'm so glad you could make it. We do try and choose a time which is suitable for many, but obviously with a global company like this, it is very difficult for us to get everyone into the one place. Kalian is just off with all the different ones they could do. They are now saying that you could do a set of skis, so you could do winter or summer types of skis. And S. St. James is saying you could do cats and dogs. There's some really fantastic cat and dog ones I've seen online where people have taken a photograph of their cat and then recreated it, including like all the different markings and things. Super adorable. I would love to see some of those ones as well. Tons of different things you could do with elephants, horses, cows. Like I said, once you get going, you're going to have so much fun with this because it is infinitely like customizable to what you want to do. So go along, check out the Academy, go do the Luxury 3D in the Hoop, a key fob course, and then just start creating and see what you can do. So much fun. Nikki's just come in from Wales. Yes, a little bit late, but you know, you can rewatch again later. All right, the team has just found the correct links for the user guides, so that you can use the second lot of links there for you as well. All right, I'm going to have to head off soon, but a couple of things I wanted to remind you about before I head off. StitchFest is still going on. There are tons more events coming up, so be sure to check out the StitchFest website. The link's in the chat there for you. Lots more events coming up. But also, if you want to take advantage of the sales, definitely do that now because it's the biggest sale of the year. You're not going to want to miss out. So be sure to take advantage of the sales while you can. Don't forget to join the Hatch user group on Facebook if you have more questions. Always happy to answer things there for you as well. And I'm going to be back again next week with another Hatch Academy Live. And this one, we're going to be talking about all of the classes that you can do, where you can follow the class and stitch something out, which you could then use as a present or a gift, take it to the markets or create a sellable item from it. So it's going to be really great for anyone who's maybe diving into Hatch, is looking to create a small business from this, or maybe you're already doing a small business and you want to expand your product range. So be sure for that. It's going to be 10 a.m. Sydney time. There will be an email going out with all of the different times for you around the world. One of the easiest ways to figure out what time it is going to be in your time zone is to subscribe to our YouTube channel and then hit the little bell icon. The little bell icon is going to tell you in your time what time we're going live, which takes some of the maths out of it for you, and it means you don't miss a live. So that's a great one to start. All right, I'm going to check the chat before I sign off. All right, people are loving all of the inspiration ideas. I'm so glad you're enjoying this course. When I first saw this course, I was just like, oh, because it was so exciting and exactly what I'd been seeing out in all the different fashion things. So it's always really fantastic to see that you can just create it yourself, because that's the same thing we do all the time. Look at what you can create with all of the different things in embroidery. People are now saying you could add rhinestones. I hadn't even thought about rhinestones. I had thought about sequins, but I hadn't thought about rhinestones. That would be very cool and very sparkly as we come towards the Christmas season as well. People are asking if there is a link to the Welcome Live coming up. All right, let's see if I can find that one for you. Sorry, I will have... I'm really hoping I don't open a website which gives me some sound here. Please don't do that. All All right, just trying to see if we can find it. Like I said, tonight's YouTube premiere for the Wilcom team is really, really fun. And Gil and Alice are just chatting about all of the different things that they have been creating, because Gil is showing all of the things that she creates. And honestly, it's just so beautiful. Share. Copy link. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. All right, I'm just dropping it into YouTube now, and our team has got it for the Facebook group as well. All right. Yes, brainstorming times for Kaylee and Ines St. James. I think you guys need to like have a little group chat there and get all those ideas out because they were fantastic there. Like I said, join us tonight for the Wilcom live premiere of Alice and Gil Cox. Gil Cox Works is just, it's so beautiful. And the way she explains it is just so lovely. And it's always fantastic to see someone coming at embroidery from a completely different mindset. And like I said earlier, I watched it and I was like, I just want to go create things. And hopefully that's exactly what it makes you do as well. So that's always what we're trying to do with StitchFest, just make you want to go and create. All right, I think there's some more questions coming up. So someone's asking if there's an email list for the Wilcom notifications. Yes, there is also emails for Wilcom. You can also go to the StitchFest page and join. So when you go to the StitchFest page, there's also an events link. When you go to the events link, it is all of the events, whether they're across Wilcom or Hatch. So you can actually see both at the same time. If anyone's interested in cap digitizing, there was a fantastic live yesterday done by the team at the Needle Bar, which was all about cap digitizing. It was fantastic. Justin and Jeff, as always, amazing information. Do check that one out. All right. Oh, thanks, Deb. That's really lovely. Deb saying thanks for the lives. We do work hard to try and bring you as much information as we can each week. All right. I'm going to see you all again next week for another live stream on the Academy. We're going to keep getting you through all of these Academy things. There's so much more to come. Keep an eye out on StitchFest and take advantage of the sales while you can. All right. Thanks so much, everyone.